Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Victoria Skirbo speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. We're going to look at another race. This is another governor's race, and this is between Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. This is not their first election that they've run against each other. Brian Kemp won the last time, most likely for entertainment purposes only, by cheating and suppressing the vote. Of course, Brian Kemp is an interesting person in that he was the governor that Trump called to find him 11,781 votes, because that's one more than we need, or some ridiculous thing like that. And he stood up against Trump, which makes him, is that good for him or bad for him in his run for the governor? It kind of depends, right? I would think that people who are conservative Republicans, traditional Republicans, might see that as a reason to vote for him, whereas MAGA Republicans maybe not, or perhaps there's just so much Republicanism down there that it doesn't even matter who he is. If he's a Republican, they're going to vote for him. So I'm not from that area. I don't know the general consensus about that stuff. But Stacey Abrams has been, since she lost the governor's race, has been, of course, a real power, and she's a very powerful, intelligent, and determined woman. So that I would not take any of that for granted if I was her opponent. Now, I've looked at we do not have accurate birth times on Stacey or on Brian. We do have dates of birth and we do have their full names. They have some very interesting commonalities in their numbers. They have the same soul vibration, 26-8. That is the Page of Wands. Brian Kemp's outer personality vibration sits in in Hokmah on the Tree of Life, which is the Sephiroth of the divine masculine, whereas Stacey's outer personality is a 43-7, which is the divine feminine. So the soul vibration being the same, the outer personality divine masculine for Kemp, divine feminine for Stacey. Their paths of life. Brian Kemp's is a 32-5. 32-5 is the same path as the US. People who have 32-5s in their chart usually do very good in the United States, but it's also the United States shadow, 32-5. So that's the price of freedom, so to speak, and who really is free. Whereas Stacey Abrams' path is a 41-5, which is the Ace of Cups. Now, on the Tree of Life, 32-5 vibrates in Tiphereth, which is the heart, but Stacey Abrams is in the crown. So vibrationally, her path of life is higher in a way. And in her way, more influential, because the higher you up on the tree, the more influential your path becomes. And then on the day of the election, Brian Kemp is going to be in a 19-1 year, a 19-1 year. A 19-1 usually means a course change of some sort, plus it's a destiny and a karmic debt number. Whereas Stacey Abrams is going to be in a 26-8 vibration, which is the vibration of her soul. So from that, I would give Stacey the benefit from the numbers. But let's see what the cards say. So let's take a look at Stacey Abrams' run for governor of Georgia. Stacey Abrams' run for governor of Georgia. Let's see what comes up for that. All right. Stacey, our girl Stacey. We have the World card. This is the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. This is a Saturn card. What does Stacey have her Saturn in? I forget. I'd have to look at it. The challenge is the Page of Pentacles. Money, perhaps. I'm sure Brian Kemp is getting all kinds of money in his campaign. I'm sure so is Stacey. There's somebody that the Democratic Party is definitely willing to invest in. As a challenge. Let's keep going and see what else comes up. In the underneath it all, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is an energy that has put the work in and is now waiting to see if watching the crops grow, looking over the crops as a protector of what is valuable. And of course, the vote is the most valuable thing we can have in a democracy, right? And we know she's done a lot of work on that. So at the root of her run for governor is a lot of hard work, Let's see what's in the past. The Knight of Wands, another knight. So it's getting the word out. She's made people very much aware. The Knight of Wands is sort of the person who goes and proselytizes an idea or a perception or a truth sometimes, right? The wands are the spiritual suit, the intuitive suit, lighting the way suit, right? It's fire, it lights the way. So perhaps, sorry about that, I got called away. So as I look at this, I guess the question is, has she done enough? Okay, where did the cards go? Okay. All right, what's coming up next? In the sky, we have the star. So great hope, great aspirations. This is a really good thing to have in the sky if you're running. Immediate future, we get the 10 of Cups. So this is success. Let's continue how it's seen from the outside. The 6 of Pentacles. I think because he won the last time and there was questions about it being stolen or cheating, or I think the big thing was that he was actually in charge of the whole system, he was the election, he was the, what do you call it, elections or something? I'm sorry, I don't have the technical words, but he was in charge of the election that he was running in. And so that's what you call a conflict of interest, but it didn't matter. He did it anyway. And I do think he had the power to change some things and do the voter suppression stuff that has been talked about, we'll say. So in that respect, this looks like the scales of justice on the side of Stacey will prevail. Let's see, domestic situation of Stacey, because the 8 of Pentacles, she's not going to stop working. She's still working, that girl's still working it. Hopes and fears. I think So my first thought when I saw this card is that when she does win the governorship, she may look to see if she can expose some more of the shenanigans that happened the first time around. We'll see. That's what I think, but maybe that's not what she thinks. Outcome, 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords. Moving away, moving to calmer waters. Moving to calmer waters. This is an Aquarius vibration. Let me see if I can pull one more. That doesn't necessarily. We got the 6 of Cups, the Devil, the 3 of Pentacles. I think she's going to win. I think she's going to win. Let's see what's underneath it. The Lovers, the Ace of Cups, which is her path of life, and the 7 of Cups, and the High Priestess. We'll pull this one too. There is something going on here. I feel like she wins. Maybe we don't know right away. Maybe they try to muck up the works. Maybe they try to pull the same BS they pulled the first time against, with Kemp and her. But I still feel like she's winning. But that being said, it's gonna be close, because I think they're still gonna pull shenanigans. I really do. And of course, her voters are probably in the cities and this, that, and the other thing. And there could be, people are challenged by violence, perhaps, or you know what I'm saying? So, being in Atlanta and voting for Stacey Abrams is a lot more dangerous than being somebody in the backwoods voting for Kemp, or somebody in a rich suburb voting for Kemp. It's like you, in a way, have to take your life into your hands and struggle against a lot of oppression in that respect. But I do see Stacey. Let's read on Kemp. We'll take a look at Kemp. Okay, I'm going to use a different deck for Kemp. Yeah, hold on one second. We're going to use the Thoth deck on Kemp. This is a little bag that Ona made me for my cards. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't my Thoth deck. Yeah, I want to use the Thoth deck. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's over here. I used that for my Thoth deck. I thought I put them back in there, but I didn't. I found them. So we're using the Thoth deck for Kemp. Let's see. What do we need to know about Brian Kemp as he runs for governor? He is an incumbent, so I think it's always a little bit harder with the incumbent. I know if our governor ran again in Massachusetts, he'd probably win, because they like him. We like him. He's a decent governor, even though he's a Republican. He's just a good governor. He governs stuff. Less political. I don't think it's a bad thing to have, like, that balance necessarily. Sometimes if you're too much one way, you get like a blinding, like you're blinded. Kemp, star. He hopes he's going to win. So there's great hope for him. Challenged by the 7 of Swords. This is futility. This is, not, the 7 of Swords is, no matter how hard you try, there's maybe somebody working against you, or somebody The challenge, futility. Let's see what's underneath it. Strength. So we have somebody who's holding his boundaries, and he certainly did that against Trump. I think that's a strength. That's a strength for him. Valor in the past. This is probably going against Trump. In the sky, we have the Emperor. This is probably Trump. This could be the possibility of leadership, but he's already a leader. So I feel like this is more likely Trump. Trump is probably going to have something to say about this. In the immediate future, we have the manipulator, the magician. So there's a lot of levers here that I think he's got his hands on. How it's seen from the outside, a change of fortune. So this may be indicating that he's not going to be the governor. Let's see his domestic situation. We have sorrow. All right, so that could be heartbreak. Hopes and fear, disappointment, probably a fear. But he does get dominion. He does get dominion, the two of wands. But this is like this, right? It's like so very even. So let's keep continuing. I feel like it's very, very, very close. We have the Prince of Wands and the Fool. So he may be going on a new path, which is what was indicated in his numbers. Underneath it, we have indolence, the Prince of Swords, and the Princess of Wands. So what I want to say is, I feel like I think if he didn't have if the Trump stuff hadn't happened, he probably would have won again. But I think the Trump stuff, in a way, is going to suppress the people that would normally vote for him. And Stacey may have an opportunity to win because of that. But there's also this sense of having his hands still on the works of things. So there may be, ways that he can work this so that it's closer than it needs to be, or closer than maybe it should be. But I will call this one for Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams doing this one. All right, I know that went a while. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon page, Dr. Vicki, VICKI at the Seeds. I'll put a link below so you can just click on it if you want. There are different levels. At this point, I want to tell you, I don't have a lot of specific, I do have some things on Patreon, specific Patreon things, but I'm going to increase the amount of things I do on Patreon that only Patreon people can see. I have a couple of ideas. I have a series in the works, a work called The Devils in the Details, the making of the monster that is Trump. And I'm going to get the first episode up probably by the end of this week. And I'm going to be looking at Trump and all the people who have enabled him, supported him, or created him. So we'll see how that goes. But so far, I've got some really good stuff on it. So I think you guys will enjoy it. But you have to be a Patreon to watch that. So, all right, take care, everyone. Namaste. Go, Stacey.